Hello all, welcome to study 77 of the Solving Studies to Improve Chess Calculation series. This study comes from one of the most well-known Finnish composers, Julius Robert Gunst. I am sure I am not pronouncing the name correctly, probably something like Julius Gunst. I don't know. It's very hard, the Finnish language. He produced many studies and with lots of quality. Most of the studies he made were included in the FIDE album, which is a selection of the best studies from some years. So, very interesting. This one I'm bringing you is again one of those irritating for me because too many options, and also queen versus queen is always hard, and the technique to dominate the maneuvers of the queen, because they are so wide, so many possibilities, it's really difficult for me, nevertheless challenging. And as always, before going to the study, I suggest, if you haven't, to watch the guide so you are better prepared for the practice, and then the countdown will start and I catch you back with the solution. And here we are. And normally I start with the first right move, but this time I won't do that. This is a very interesting study, but it's very hard to come to the solution. We need basically to see. Normally, it happens a lot. We see some lines, then we jump from one line to another until we find the right one. And I think this one is one of those. Let's say first what is happening over here. So I have the king cornered, but if the black pieces are allowed to get some space, well, there will be a big threat of promotion. And things like going, for example, knight b3. What happens if knight b3? Well, maybe I think, okay, it's going to be a draw because the queen can sacrifice for the knight, but then it's a stalemate. Well, but this is even worse because the king can come out, and now there's no good moves for white. Let's say, for example, the knight goes to d4, because now, as always, the promotion is going to be a problem. But before that, black can even force the exchange of queens. So after exchange the queens, the knight is attacked. I can restrict the knight even more. Of course, here there are a lot of ways. This one also would work. And after I restrict the knight needs to move, whatever, I will promote to the queen. So as you can see, playing moves like this one, okay, it's not possible. Going with the knight to the other side is similar. I can remove the king, and well, white is losing probably. So no need to see that all. So I focus my interest in the ideas for the queen. And of course, it would be fine for the queen to be able to reach with a check over here. Maybe some cool, interesting ideas may show up. But Black Queen is very well placed, not allowing that. And of course, the queen is open. So when our queen moves, we also need to consider checks, like for example on a3 and so on. So this is the studies that I struggle a bit because of all these options. But after a while, I see another interesting possibility to place the queen in the first rank. And now I am threatening a discover check and grabbing probably the queen or some kind of threat. So the idea is, if the queen comes to b1, well, it release control, abandoned control of the diagonal. So suddenly I can check it, and then when the queen comes out, well, I simply can check, and then after this check, the queen blocks and checkmate. uh, the idea is good. The problem is I also need to find the best moves for the defense, and again, as you can see, the queen can go places, can go many places. But of course, not all are to be seen. I need also to consider the most interesting possibilities. And for me, the one that comes to more intuitive is this one, because okay, we are controlling the checking square. Of course, there were others over here, but let's not say here it's a mistake from white. So we just need to find one way to eliminate this line. Okay, that's what we do when we play defense. If it's possible for us with just one line to eliminate the move, okay, we come back and find another move. And over here, as you can see, okay, I can give the discover check, but now the queen blocks, and there's no way I can force this anymore. But a new idea comes up. Why? Because if I was able to check on the long diagonal now, because I indirectly forced the queen to abandon the control of the long diagonal, it would be more interesting. And that's why I can find the solution, bringing the queen to f1. So the idea is the same. So we are expecting the queen to come, for example, with a block, but then suddenly I can place it with check. And from here, the queen needs to block it. Then I check the king needs to move away. Of course, it's not the same as in d1, because I have not control with the c1, the c2 escape for the king. Nevertheless, I can check it, bringing the king to c2. Then again, force the lines, because the queen can take the knight. The king needs to go to c3. Okay, if the king comes to d2, I just check it. The king needs to protect the queen. If it goes to c1, it's a checkmate. So I will basically get the same position. The king comes to c3. So if the king goes to c3 over here, well, let's say over here, then I check. The king is forced to move away because, of course, my knight is controlling the two squares possible for the king. The king moves, and then I take the queen. And it's game over. I win this one. Okay, maybe not so easy to explain, because this goes more with the practice. That's why also we are over here to improve our calculation. And hope you have enjoyed also, and see you in future studies. Bye bye.